and determinants. So when we speak of matrices, it is the rectangular array of an elements, Aij, no? Then the horizontal arrangement is considered as the row, and the vertical arrangement is considered as the column. Then, if we have only one row, dahil pa nagdadatingan no? Saglit lang. So each member in the matrix called an element, ano? And a matrix having only one row is called a row matrix or row vector. Marami kayo ngayon. Siguro yung iba na walang grade, nagpasok ka na ngayon, ano? So if we have only one row, let's say A11, A12, A13, and so on. That is also considered as a matrix. But since there's only one row, it is considered as row matrix, no? Or sometimes it is called as row vector. Now, if we have only one column, let's say we have here A11, A21, A31, and so on, still considered as a matrix. And this is considered as a column matrix. Column matrix, or sometimes as uh, column vector, no? Okay. However, if we have the number of rows, by the way, the number of rows is denoted by m, and the number of columns is denoted by n. So we have what we call m by n matrix. Mukhang makukompleto kayo ngayon. Yung mga hindi regular na umattend, andito na ngayon. So m represents the number of rows, while n represents the number of columns. Wherein, when m is equal to n, when m is equal to n, we have what we call the square matrix. And square matrix is known as a determinant. And let's say when n is equal to 2, m equal to 2, n equal to 2, so m equal to n equal to 2, we have what we call a second order determinant. When m is equal to n equal to 3, we have what we call a third order determinant. No? Now let's have a value of what we call second order determinant. You're familiar with this, ano? Second order. Let's say, given a determinant A whose elements are A11, then A12, A21, A22. Now, to find the value, we can apply several methods. One, which a very popular method is known as a diagonal. Using diagonal method, no, this is considered as positive. You have to take the product, no, of elements on that diagonal. So we have here the value as A11 times A22. Then upward direction, the other diagonal, that is considered as negative. So minus, we have here A21 times A12. This is for the second order. Now for the third order, we have A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, 32, 33. Now using diagonal method, no, in order to avoid confusion, simply repeat the first two columns. So to find the value, we have here A equal to, that is A11, repeat the first two columns. Then we have here A12, then apply diagonal method. No? Again, downward direction is positive. Ito. That is considered as positive. So the result is we have A11 times A22, then A33. Plus the product of these elements. That is A12, then A23, A31. Then plus the next column or the next diagonal, we have here A13, then A21, A32. Okay. Then upward direction, negative. So all of this positive. Now upward direction is negative. Kapag ganito naman, negative. So we have here minus, that is A31, A22, then A13. Minus again, no? That is A32. What next? A23, A11. Then again, for the last term, we have here ilan? What is it? A, will you dictate? A,
A33 po.
A33, next.
A21.
A21,
Then
A12.
A12,
A12. You will notice that how many terms do we have after evaluating the value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No? While on the other one, we have only 2. So that is the number of elements after expanding. Ano? I hope you're familiar with this. Saglit lang ha. To determine or to estimate the number of terms, no, after expanding, if for the second order determinant, the number of terms after expanding is 2 factorial. And 2 factorial is 2. Tingnan natin dito. So we have 2 terms, no, after expanding. While for a third order determinant, it is 3 factorial. And 3 factorial is 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is expected that for a fourth order determinant, 4 by 4, we have 24 terms. No? Okay? Do you follow? Or uh, you can apply the multiplication of matrices. We have here all elements on the first column. We call matrix A times matrix B. Wherein matrix A is what? We have what we call a 3 by 3. While matrix B, we have ilan? 2 by 3. No? 2 by 3. Or simply apply this diagonal method. Okay? Now, let's set the minors and paano kung halimbawa, by the way, a 4 by 4. 4 by 4. Applicable pa ba yung diagonal method? Hello, Jan. Applicable pa ba yung diagonal method pagka 4 by 4? Hmm, tingnan natin yung iba. Ma-Christian, applicable kaya yung 4 by 4? Yung diagonal method sa 4 by 4?
Tingin ko po sir gano'n din po, same kay John Joshua. Hindi po practical kasi baka sobrang dami na po nung elements.
Ay, hindi. Hindi, tingnan natin kung pwede o hindi. Ano. Ngayon, kung napakahaba ng solution, doon pa lang natin pwedeng sabihin na hindi practical na gamitin. Pero tingnan natin kung possible. Yun yung gusto kong ma-confirm sa inyo. Princess, applicable kaya yung diagonal sa 4 by 4?
Sir, sa tingin ko po pwede sir, pero yung in-extend po natin na dalawang row ay column po sir, baka po madadagdagan po.
Sige, tingnan natin idea na iba. Joanne,
Sir, para po sa akin, applicable po siya. Tapos, tulad din po nung kay Princess, nadadagdagan lang po yung inad po na first two columns po.
sige. Halos pare-pares kayo ng sagot. Ano, Julia?
Sir, ako po yung hindi po same sa kanila.
Ano
Sa
yung,
tingin ko po sir, parang hindi po.
bakit hindi? Kung hindi,
Um,
gawin.
Hindi ko po kasi sure kung bakit, pero parang parang kasi kung wala po kayong sa tingin ko lang sir, parang wala po kayong magagawang diagonal po kasi 16 po yung elements na nandun.
Paano gagawin kung hindi applicable yung...
Ay, hindi ko lang po sure, sir.
Sige, tingnan natin, no? Finalize natin dito. Justin,
Good morning, sir. I think po pwede po yung sinasabi ni Joanne and Princess po. I think applicable po yung diagonal pero madadagdagan po.
sige, nag-iisa si Julia, no? Carly,
Sir, ganun din po. Feeling ko po is applicable po pero mas mahabang process po. I think po.
sige. Kyle,
Gano'n rin po. So, tingin ko po applicable po. Kaso hindi lang po talaga practical.
then Mike.
Sir, ganoon din po. Tingin ko po, applicable po. Pero mahaba po. Hindi po siya practical.
Brian,
Sir, applicable po yung diagonal po sa 4 by 4. Pwede po siya gamitin, sir. Ayun po yung tingin ko.
sige. Jan, Paulo,
Sir, tingin ko po applicable po siya. Mas dadami lang po talaga yung iyaano niya po. Gagamitan.
okay, thank you. Lawrence,
Applicable po, sir. Katulad rin po nung sinabi ng iba na dadami lang po yung magre-repeat na i-repeat na rows and columns pag 4 by 4.
okay. Carol,
Applicable rin po, sir. Meron lang po sigurong simpler way sa 4x4.
James.
Sa tingin ko po possible po. Applicable rin po siya. Kaso lang po, maraming elements lang po ma-process.
Okay, Ian.
Hello po, sir. Feeling ko rin po, sir, applicable siya. Kaya rin po sinabi ng iba po.
Sige, balik tayo kung saan mo. Paano yung outnumber ka, Julia? Bakit? Sige. Ganito yon. The diagonal method is only applicable for a second and third order determinant. Higher order determinant can be evaluated using other method, no? So tama si Julia na hindi applicable. So diagonal method applicable only for second and third order determinant. Paano gagawin kung fourth order determinant na yan or a higher order determinant? Then we have what we call the general solution. And this general solution, actually dito nang galing yung diagonal method eh. But before going to that solution, let's have the minors and cofactors. Minors and cofactor. Cofactor is simply a signed minor. No? When we say minor, we're going to delete the row and column containing that element. Let's say, given a determinant A, let's, for simplicity of the analysis and discussion, let's consider a third order determinant. So we have A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. So some of the minors, let's say M11, minors is denoted by the letter M. So when we say minor 11, we're going to delete the row and column containing the element A11, thus reducing the determinant into n minus 1 order. So this is a third order, then the minor will become a second order determinant. So minor 11, deleting the row and column containing A11, anong matitira? Tanggalin natin yung row containing A11. Tanggalin natin yung column containing A11. Anong matitira?
Yun pong A22.
A22, that's correct. Then
A20.
A23, that's correct.
A32. A33.
Yan yung minor 11. Let's say, we are interested on minor 22. Minor 22. So you had noticed that the given determinant is a 3 by 3. Then the minor comes out to be 2 by 2. It is always 1 less than, minor 22. Delete the row and column containing element 22. So you have here what? Tanggalin natin yung element containing 22. Ano?
A11 po, sir.
A11. Next.
A13.
A13.
Next.
A31.
A31.
A31. Then
A33.
33. What about cofactor? Cofactor is simply signed minor. No? Cofactor is simply signed minor. So, Paano natin i-represent yung cofactor? Gawin na lang nating A, cofactor, no? So, these are the minors. Then, cofactor is signed minor. That is, the cofactor is negative 1 raised to I plus j m I g. Okay? The cofactor is a signed minor. That is negative 1 raised to I plus j times m I j. So, ibig sabihin, ano, yung A11 natin, A11, balik tayo dito. M11 is the minor. Then its cofactor is A11. So what is the formula? A11 then is negative 1 raised to I. The position of the element on the ith row. I stands for the ith row. J stands for the jth column. No? So, A11, the position of the element is on the first row. I is 1. Then, first column, J is 1. M, I, J, M11. So, ito ngayon, magiging negative 1 to even power is positive, then equal to M11 in this case. It's a matter of positive, negative eh. So, ito magiging positive M11. And positive M11, if we're going to go back to the minor, we have A22, A23. A22, A23. Then followed by A32, A33. There's no change on the cofactor. The sign is still positive. What about A, ano ba yung sinunod natin? M22, ano? Hindi nyo makikita yung variation eh. Gawin kaya nating ano? A31 kaya? Hindi. Even pa rin yun eh. A32. So if you're interested on A32, A32, it is equal to negative 1 raised to I plus j. I is 3, element is on the third row, then second column, plus 2. Then multiplied by M32. And you will find out that negative 1 to add power is negative. So it is negative M32. Okay? Nagbabago yung sign. Or simply, it is like this. Balik tayo dito. The cofactor of A11 is positive. Why? 1 plus 1 to the second is positive. Dito, sumunod, 1, 2, we have 1 plus 2 is 3, negative 1 to the third power is negative. So, the sign simply alternates, no? Tingnan ninyo. Positive, positive sa A11, negative sa A12, positive sa A13. Then, negative sa A23, positive sa A22, negative sa 21. Positive sa 31, negative sa 32. Tingnan natin kung negative nga sa 32. Ayun, no? Negative 32. So, we have the minor and cofactor. Any questions so far? Sign simply alternates. Kahit saan mo idaan yan, magne-negative yung 32. Tingnan natin. Kahit saan natin daan, ha? Dumaan tayo ng pababa. So, A11 is positive, A21 is negative, A31 is what? Positive, A32 is negative. O kaya dito tayo dumaan sa kabila. A11 is positive, A12 is negative, A22 is positive, A32 is still negative. Sign simply alternates. Then, value of determinants can be found by having the expansion by minors and cofactors. So, the first...
Sir, question
Yes,
lang po.
yes. What's the question?
Pwede po pabalik sa formula.
Saang formula?
Nakalagay yung cofactor po is negative I or negative 1
Negative
po?
1 yun. Ito to, negative 1 yun. Negative 1.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay na. Negative 1 raised to I plus j, then times mij. Mij is the minor of the element, while aij is considered as the cofactor. Pwede natin ilagay dito aij. No? So, ito ngayon, aij, yan. That is the cofactor. Okay na? Let's set the value. This is in general actually. Second, third, fourth, and so on. Unlike the diagonal, that is limited for second and third order. No? So, expansion by minors. Value of determinant using expansion by minors and cofactors. Minors and cofactors. So again, going back to the second order muna tayo, no? Second order muna. Para makita ninyo yung, para ma-verify natin yung value. Let's say given a determinant A whose elements are general muna tayo. A11, A12, A13, A1N. Then, ito yung pinaka-general equation natin. 21, 22, 23, second row, and column. A, M row, no? First column. Second column. Third column. A, M by N. M by N matrix. Such that the value of this determinant can be found using expansion either on the row or on the column, kahit saan. Pwedeng horizontal, pwedeng vertical. Let's say, we want the expansion along the first row. Expansion along the first row. Along the first row. Ibig sabihin, the value of this determinant is equal to the algebraic sum of the products of the element and its corresponding cofactor. Bakit algebraic sum? Kasi ang cofactor nagbabago ng sign. It can be positive, it can be negative. So you have here, it is simply the algebraic sum or the summation of its corresponding element, aij times aij. Or simply, if the expansion is along the first row, no, it will become, first row tayo, we have A11 times the cofactor A11. Then plus, we have A12, all the elements on the first row, multiplied by the cofactor. Then we have A13 until you have A1n times the cofactor 1n. Okay? Tingnan natin. The first term is positive. 1 plus 1 is 2 to the negative 1 to the second. The second term is negative. The third term is positive. Sign alternates. That is expansion along the first row. If you want to have the expansion along the second column, pwedeng ganito, no? Or, we have here expansion along, o gusto nyo, third column, para maiba naman. Third column. What will it be? The value of the determinant, in general, pagka third column tayo, A13 we have here A13 times the corresponding cofactor. Next is A23. Then, until you have AM3. Then, what? AM3. Now, let's apply this principle to a second order determinant. Tingnan natin kung parehas ng lalabas, ano. For a second order determinant, the elements A11, A12, A21, A22. Now, using the expansion by minors and cofactors, let's say expansion along the first column. Expansion along the first column. So, we have here A11 times the cofactor. Since it is first column, we have here A21, A21. So, let's see. A11 will remain unchanged. But the cofactor A11, ano ang sign? Start with positive, no? So, ano ang cofactor ng A11? It is simply the same with minor 11. Saglit lang, ha? So, ano yung minor 11 natin? We're going to delete the row and column containing the element A11. So, what will be left is ilan? Delete the first row and the first column. What will be left is A22. Do you agree? Do you agree? Let's continue. Then, plus A21. Benji, kaingay. Benji. So, A21, what is the cofactor 21? 2 plus 1 is 3. Negative 1 to add power is negative. So, it follows then that the cofactor is negative. Speaking of A21, delete the row and column containing A21. And what will be left is simply A12. And if we're going to simplify, it is A11 times A22 minus A21 times A12. Tingnan natin, using diagonal, A11, A22 minus A21, A12. So we arrive at the same value. Baka naman nagkataon lang. Tingnan natin sa third order determinant. This is in general, no? Any order. Let's say for a third order determinant, we have here ano? A21 ano? Sige, paano ngayon? Saan nyo gusto? Which do you prefer? Teka, di ba ang namumukod na sagot kanina si Julia? O Julia, saan mo gustong mag-expand? Vertical, row, or column?
Column po, sir.
O what column?
Second column po.
Ano ba yung ginawa ko kanina? First column, ano? A11, A21. Sige, second column ka. Paano ngayon? Anong value? Kung second column ito, we have here A12 times the cofactor 12. Then plus A22, the cofactor 22. Plus A32, then cofactor 32. simply expand. You will simply expand, no? So, A12, what is the cofactor ng 12? That is a third order determinant, then the cofactor turns out to be 3 minus 1, second order determinant. So, tingnan natin ha. A12, A12. Ano ang sign? Positive, negative? A11 is positive, A12 should be negative. Okay? So, ano yung cofactor ng A12? Delete the row and column containing A12. Ano matitira?
A21 po.
A21, what next?
A31.
A31, tama, sige. Next,
A23.
A23,
A33.
A33. That's correct, ano? Next, A22. Tingnan niyo yung A22. A12 is negative, dapat positive yun. So, positive ka na dito. Okay? Then, delete the row and column containing that element. Delete the row and column containing that element. This is what? A
11.
A11.
11.
A11, next.
A13.
A13, next. The last.
A31.
A31,
A33.
A33. And for the last one, negative, positive, negative ito. 3 plus 2 is 5. Negative 1 to add power is negative. So we have here A32. Then for the cofactor, tanggalin natin yon. Anong matitira? A11,
A13,
A13, next.
A21.
A21,
Yes, A21,
A22 po.
A20.
23.
3.
Okay. This time, pwede pa ulit natin gamitan na expansion by minors and cofactors. Pero pagka pwede na ang diagonal method, no, do it directly. Ibig sabihin, kung ito ay 4 by 4, fourth order determinant, using expansion by minors and cofactors, magiging third order. Pagka third order, pwede ng diagonal. Mas convenient na. Mas maikli na. Tulad dito, second order, although if we're going to apply the expansion again by minors and cofactors, only one element would be left. Di ba? So, using diagonal method, ito yung magiging negative A12 times the quantity, product of the diagonal, that is A21, A33, minus, that is simply A31, then A23. Then plus, you have here A22 times the quantity, again, using diagonal method, this is simply A11, A33, minus A31, A13. And for the last, we have here minus A32 times the quantity A11, A23. Then minus, this is A21, A13. Now, let's see if they're the same. Tingnan natin ha. If we're going to distribute A12 to A21, A33, meron ba tayo dong minus A12, A21, 33? Tandaan nyo ha, babalik ako. A12, 21, 33. A12, 21, 33. A12, 21, 33. A12, 21, 33. Ito, last term. Okay? Bibilugan ko ha, o lagyan ko ng underline para mamarkahan natin na meron na nun. Ito. Ganun na lang. Now, A33, 21, 12 negative. A33, 21, 12 negative. A33, A21, 12, negative. So, okay na. Pangalawa, we have negative, negative is positive. That is A12, 31, 23. A12, 31, 23. Tandaan nyo ha, positive dapat. A12, 31, 23. Ito, second term. Positive. Tama, nag-conform yung sign. Let's continue. Dito na tayo. A22 times A11 times A33. Dapat positive. 22, 11, 33, positive. 22, 11, 33, positive. Ito. Tutuloy pa ba natin? If we're going to continue, you will find out that they're exactly the same. O hanapin pa natin itong 32, 23, 11. Ito. Negative 32, 23, 11. 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 Ito, oh. Yung last expansion natin, second term, negative 32, A11, 23. So, parehas. Ha? So, whenever you encounter a second and third order determinant, apply diagonal. That is the more convenient. The more, more convenient. No? Then, higher than that, you have to apply expansion by minors and cofactors. Hmm? Do you have this in your laboratory? Hello, do you have this in your laboratory? Oh, wala. Buti na lang, hindi niya na-discuss. At least meron pa akong dinidiscuss sa inyo. Let's have the sample problem. Although pwedeng gamitan ng calculator, will you get your calculator? Hanggang ilang order ang kaya niyan? Meron bang determinant sa calculator ninyo? 3 by 3? Alam ko merong 10 by 10. Kasi 2 years ago, bago mag-pandemic, meron akong estudyante na binigyan ko ng 5 by 5 kasi ang halos lahat 4 by 4 lang, 3 by 3 lang kaya, 4 by 4. Binigyan ko ng 5 by 5. Ang bilis niyang nakatapos. Nung tignan ko yung calculator niya, casio yung model. Kaya ang 10 by 10. Kaya nung sumunod namin exam, 11 by 11 binigay ko. Tingnan ninyo ha, kung 11 by 11, how many terms? That is 11 factorial. It is not advisable to use the longhand method. It will be better to make use of the available software, no? That is the Math Lab o kaya Octave. Para mas mabilis. Right. Let's have an example. Yan. 4x4 kanyo, kaya eh. Pwede gamitan muna natin ng, do we still have time? Hanggang oras ba tayo? Ganang oras na yun.
11:45 po, sir.
We still have time for this sample problem. So again, diagonal method is not applicable. So let's make use of the expansion by minors and cofactors. Tulad ng sabi ko, as what I have told you earlier, you can have the expansion in any row or in any column. But sometimes you have to, what do you call this? You have to find the the best choice, whether it will be on the row or on the column. Tingnan natin. If we're going to have the expansion on the first row, 0 yung last element eh. So, na-reduce na yung number of expansion natin kasi 0 yung last element eh. Or if we're going to make use of the fourth column, or if we're going to make use of the fourth row, no? Sige, tingnan natin sa last row. Let's have the expansion along the fourth row. Bakit yun ang pinili ko? Mayroon kang 0 element eh. So, ibig sabihin, the value of A will turn out to be 1, no? You have there 1 times, what is the cofactor? Is it positive or negative? Starting on the first element, going downward, so you have positive, negative, positive, negative. Dapat ito negative. I hope you can find that. I repeat, starting on the first element, that is 4, then going downward, positive, sign alternates, negative, then positive, should be negative. Okay? Then delete the row and column containing the element on the first row, on the fourth row. Tanggalin natin yung elements on the containing 1. So, anong matitira? 5, 7, 0. We have 2, 3, and 4. Tama ba? Then 4, 5, 6. Followed by, since expansion along the fourth row, followed is negative 2. So you have here plus negative 2. Anong sign? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive dapat. The cofactor must be positive. And what is that cofactor? Delete the row and column containing that element. Ano matitira?
470.
470.
Yes, 470.
Negative 134.
Negative 1, 3, and 4. The last
35
3,
and
5, and 6 po.
3, 5, and 6. Next is 0. No? So, plus 0 ka na dyan. Wala na. Then next, ano ang sign? Tingnan natin ha. Positive, negative, positive, negative. Then positive, negative, dapat to positive. Okay? Negative, positive, positive, negative, negative, positive. Negative pa rin yung sign mo ng 0. Although, wala namang epekto. Just to show that the sign alternates. No? So, negative na yon, then positive na to. And for the last, you have the 3, the corresponding cofactor 4, 5, 7. Negative 1, 2, and 3. Then 3, 4, 5. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Sige. To save time and space, gamitan nyo na nga ng calculator. Pwede na ito sa calculator eh. Itong 3. Do you know how to enter matrix in your calculator? To save time and space. Calculator, please. So, it's negative 1 times, ano yung value nito? O kung gusto niyo, pwede nating i-manual kung makakasunod kayo, no? So, magiging 5 times 3 times 6, 5 times 3 times 6, then plus 2 times 5 times 0, 0 na yon. Then plus 4 times 4 plus 7, 4 times 4 times 7. Then minus, 0 na yung una, 4 by 5, 4 by 5 by 5, minus 4 by 5 by 5. Then minus 6 by 2 by 7. Anong sagot niyo? 18 ba lumabas?
Yes po, sir. 18 po.
Anong ginamit mo? Yung mismong direct na sa calculator?
Opo, direct. Matrix po sa calculator.
Oo. Sa akin, inano ko diagonal eh. O, next. So, you have here minus 2 times, pwede ninyo ako sundan, no? 4 times 3 times 6. Then, plus, negative 1 times 4 times 7. Negative 1. Ilan yun? 4 by 3 by 6, negative 1 times 5 times 0. 0 na yun. Then, plus, what? 3 times 4 times 7. Then, minus, 0 na ulit. 4 by 5 is 20 times 4. 4 by 5 times 4. Then, minus again. 6 times 1 times 7. 6. Anong sagot mo dito?
118 po.
Oh, 118. Sige. Next. Sige nga. What is the last one? Plus 3 times what?
Negative 8 po.
Negative
8.
8. Will you take the result? The algebraic sum? Negative 18, negative 2 times 118 minus 24. What is the result?
Negative 278.
Negative
278.
278.
78.
72.
8 po. 8.
Ganyan, negative 278. Kung ang calculator ninyo ay 4 by 4, kaya ang 4 by 4, i-direct na ninyo kung ang lalabas ay negative 278. Using calculator directly.
Yes po, sir.
Tama yung procedure natin. No? Paano kung 5 by 5? Paano 6 by 6? Napansin ninyo, no? Kung gagamitan natin na expansion along any row or column, 1, 2, 3, 4. Apat na term ang lalabas, ano? Then, for each term, kung i-reduce mo ulit, mamumultiply na naman. So, in general, kung ito ay 4 by 4, ilan? 4 factorial, 24. 24 terms ang lalabas all in all. Okay? 24 terms. Kung 5 by 5, 5 factorial is 120. So, 120 terms. Time consuming. Any questions so far? Medyo mahaba ito eh. Pero merong mas maikli dito. Merong shortcut. Yung sinasabing pivotal element method. Okay? Ulitin ko. Diagonal method is limited to a second and third order determinant. In general, you can apply the expansion by minors and cofactors. That is a general solution. Another general solution is pivotal element method. No? Pivotal element method. Or sometimes it is considered as Laplace development. Yung iba ang term dyan, Laplace development. Eh. But that is commonly called as a pivotal element method. Paano itong pivotal element method? Ganito yan, ano? If the given determinant of order n has an element 1, unity, use this as the pivotal element. You have to look for a 1, no? One element. The value is 1. Then make use of this as the pivotal element. Paano kung wala? Choose some convenient element, any element aij, no? Then reduce this to unity by dividing either the ith row or the jth column by aij. Halimbawa, ganito. You have 2, 3, 4, and 6. Wala kang 1. So, wala kang magagamit na pivotal element. The pivotal element, lahat iikot dun sa unity. Eh, wala ka namang unity. So, you have to choose any row or any column. No? Then, in order to have a unity element, divide, let's say ito to, first column. If we're going to divide all the elements in the first column by 2, magkakaroon ka na ng 1 eh. Di ba? Meron ka ng unity as the pivotal element. But they're not equal anymore. To preserve the value, you have to multiply the determinant by 2. Okay? To neutralize. Let's continue. Then cross out the row and column through aij. And from each element of the resulting determinant of order n minus 1, you have to subtract the product of the element in which the row and column containing aij are met by the row and column containing that element. Then the value of the determinant is negative 1 raised to I plus j times the new determinant. Let's apply. I-apply natin. Ano yung problem kanina? 4570 4570. Second row. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the last one, 1, negative 2, 0, 3. 1, negative 2, 0, 3. Gamitan natin ang pivotal element method. Ano yung first rule? Dapat mayroong unity na element. Kung negative 1, edi, di ba, multiply mo ng negative 1 o divide mo ng negative 1 lahat ng element dun sa first, second row o kaya lahat ng element dun sa first column. Then, since you divide by negative 1, you have to multiply it by negative 1 to balance. Eh, kaso meron naman tayong 1 eh. Ano sabi dito? Choose unity as the pivotal element. Next, cross out the row and column containing that pivotal element. Tatanggalin natin ito. Delete the row and column containing the pivotal element. So, ang matitira ngayon is n minus 1 order determinant. It is simply, from fourth order, it will become 4 less 1 third order determinant. And the value of which is negative 1 raised to I plus j. The position of the element is on the what? What row? Fourth row. What column? 1. Okay. Do you follow? Ulitin ko. Look for unity as the pivotal element. Ayun. Meron tayong positive 1, which is on the fourth row, first column. No? So, delete the row and column containing that pivotal element. No. So, then the value of the new determinant is negative 1 raised to I plus j. Yung I plus j doon, yun yung position ng pivotal element. And the position of the pivotal element is on the fourth row, then first column. Ito na yung resulting determinant natin. You have 5. Anong sabi? From each element of the resulting determinant of order n minus 1, you have to subtract the product of the element in which the row and column containing the pivotal element are met by the row and column containing that element. Ganito yun. So, 5, yung first element. Then, pagka pinoject natin to horizontally to the left, it will intersect 4. So, you have minus 4 times, if we're going to project this vertically downward, it will intersect negative 2. Okay? I repeat. On its resulting element, you have to subtract the product of the the product of the element on the row and column met by the row and column containing that element. So project it to the left, 4. Project it downward, vertically downward, we have 2. So minus 4 times negative 2. Next, 7 minus. Project it to the left, we have therefore, project it vertically downward, we have the 0. Next, 0 minus. You have therefore times 3. Next. What is the next? 2 minus what?
Minus 1 times negative 2 po.
Negative 1, yes, times negative 2. Next is 3 minus what?
Sir, negative 1 is 0 po.
Negative 1, then 0. Tama. Next, what? What is the next element? 4.
4 minus
Minus, ano?
negative 1 times 3.
I hope everybody can follow. No? Negative 1 times 3. For the last, we have here 4 minus what? 3 times negative 2. Then you have here 5 minus
3 times 0.
0. Then the last one, we have there 6 minus
3
3
times.
times what?
Times 3.
3 po.
Di ba naging ano na lang? 3 by 3. So, ililipat ko ililipat ko. So, the value of A is negative 1. Take note that 4 plus 1 is 5. And negative 1 to the p power is negative. So, ang result nito, negative. Simplify natin. 5 minus 4 times 2, that is ilan? 8, 13 Positive 13. Tama?
Yes, sir.
13. Yung susunod, lahat, minus 0 na eh. There's 7. So, we have here 7. Next, 12, negative 12. Next, second row. 0 ba?
0 po.
0. Then next, 3, 3. Ilan?
7.
7. Konti na lang.
10 po, sir.
10. Next.
5.
5. Next.
-3.
Negative 3. O, di ba pwede ng calculator dyan? Sige nga, gamitan nyo na ng calculator o pwedeng manual. 13 times 3 times negative 3 plus 0 times 5 times 12 plus 10 times 7 times 7 minus negative 12 times 3 times 10 minus 7 times 5 times 30 minus 3 times 0 times 7. Or using calculator directly, what is the result? Calculator, please.
$278 po, sir.
Positive, negative.
Positive po.
Multiply mo na ng negative sign.
Hindi pa po, sir.
At then negative lalabas. Tingnan natin ano ba yung sagot natin kanina. O, negative 278. Baka naman binasa mo lang yung sagot natin kanina.
Sir, hindi po. Minatrix ko po sa calculator, sir.
So, we arrive at the same answer. And if you're going to compare the solution, this much easier. Kita nyo, ilang step lang. No? Any questions so far?
Sir, pwede po pa-return po dun sa last slide po. Sa 10th slide po, sir.
Ayan. Ano, do you have any question there?
Okay na po, sir. Thank you po.
Balik ko dun sa... Teka. Sige, picture na muna ninyo. Naintindihan ninyo yung procedure? Dito,
Yes po, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ulitin ko yung procedure, ha? Choose unity as the pivotal element. Kung wala, you try to factor out, divide all the elements in a particular row or column just to produce one. Kung ano yung pinandivide mo, multiply nyo yung determinant, yung ganong quantity. No? Then, cross out the row and column containing that pivotal element. So, ang matitira, you have n minus 1 determinant. And the value is negative 1 raised to I plus j times the new determinant. And to form the new determinant, ang sabi dito, from each element of the resulting determinant of order n minus 1, subtract the product of the element in which the row and column containing aij are met by the row and column containing that element. Tulad halimbawa dun sa 5. Pagka pinoject natin horizontally to the left, no, containing the pivotal element, the column of the pivotal element, it will intersect at 4. If we're going to project the position of that element vertically downward, it will intersect negative 2. So, subtract the product of the two intersections. As simple as that. Pakipicturean. Next slide. Okay. Sino pa yung walang grade? Do you have any questions so far? Any question, Brian? May question ka?
Wala naman po, sir.
May grade ka na yun, no?
Yes po, sir.
Charlie. Charlie?
Yes po, sir. Wala naman na po question. Pero yung sa grade po, hindi ko pa po na-check kasi naka-hold po yung portal ko po, sir. Pero last meeting po is absent po ako.
Edi wala ka rin grade kasi absent ka last meeting. Kahit ma-access mo yung portal, wala kang makikita. Anong evaluation mo? Charlie?
Sir, yes po.
Anong self-evaluation mo?
Paano po yung evaluation, sir?
Ang basis ng grade ninyo, do you attend regularly? Isa yun, no? On time. Pangalawa, nasasagutan mo ba yung mga problem sets na binibigay ko, tapos na i-comply mo ba on time? Let's say, binigay ko ngayon, dapat by next meeting tapos yun. No? Kung hindi natapos, okay lang. Kasi ang sabi ko naman sa inyo, pwede kayong mag-submit a week before the end of the semester. No? Kaya lang, hindi mo pwede bigyan ng perfect score yun kung hindi mo naisasubmit on time, no? Pangatlo, tama ba yung solution mo? Then, yun lang. So, based on that, ano yung self-evaluation mo? Pang-apat pala, naintindihan mo ba yung lecture? Pagka ba
Okay.
nag-discuss ako, naintindihan mo agad o kailangan magbasa ka pa? So, yun yung mga basis natin. Anong self-evaluation?
Siguro po, sir, 80 po.
80, sige. Sigurado ka na doon, 80.
Opo, sir.
Sige. So, yun yung lalabas na midterm grade mo, no?
Opo, sir. Thank you po.
Next. Mapa.
Hello sir, good morning po.
Oo. Bakit bihira kitang mano? Parang
Sir,
bihira.
nakaka-attend naman po ako sir kasi po may conflict po dito sa amin po. Naglilipat po kasi kami sir ng bahay po.
Sige. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka nga regular na nakaka-attend, no? So, anong self-evaluation?
Opo sir, pero po, ano po, may mga meetings po ako na-attendan po.
Oo. Kasi di ba, regular ako nagtatawag, nag-check na attendance. Kaya natatandaan ko kung sino yung madalas na uma-attend, yung regular, saka yung madalas o yung hirang uma-attend. Anyway, anong evaluation mo?
Sir, tingin ko po nasa 75 to 80 po.
Sige, gawin ko ng 80. No?
Sir, thank you po, sir.
Sige na. Gagawin kong 85. Charlie. Hello, Charlie.
Yes po, sir.
Ginawa na kitang 85 kasi binigyan ko ng consideration si
Thank you po.
So, 80 si Mapa.
Thank you, sir.
Bumawi kayo ha sa midterm, negative 3. Multiply mo ngayon to ng negative 3 times negative 3. Ay, then meron ka na ditong 1 as the pivotal element. Then you can make use of that as the pivotal.
So, bali po, sir, pwede pong magkaroon ng fraction po sa matrix, sir.
Oo.
Okay po, sir. Po, nagets ko na po. Thank you po.
Sir, question din po. After po nun, sir, save na po nung as with Unity. Ano lang po, sir, panghabol lang po din sa kanina, gaya po kay Julia. After po nun, sir, same na po yung process.
Oo.
Since may Unity na po.
Oo, basta nakapag-produce ka ng 1, same procedure ngayon.
Okay po, sir.